Back in 2015, Saquon Barkley wasn't even supposed to be the guy. He wasn't the headliner, the five-star phenom, or the can't-miss prospect. He was ranked 24th among running backs in his recruiting class. Yes, 23 players were considered better prospects than him. Fast forward to today, and Saquon Barkley has become one of the most dynamic and electrifying players in the NFL. But what about those 23 players who were supposed to have brighter futures? Did they live up to the hype, or did they fade into obscurity? That's what we're here to find out. Today, we're taking an in-depth look at every single one of the 23 running backs ranked ahead of Barkley. From their high school dominance to where they are now, some became stars, others faced heartbreak, and a few vanished from the spotlight altogether. Buckle up, because this deep dive into the class of 2015 will keep you hooked till the end. To kick things off, let's start with the man who defied all expectations, Saquon Barkley. Coming out of Whitehall High School in Pennsylvania, Barkley was considered a solid but unremarkable prospect compared to other top recruits. Few could have predicted that the young man, once viewed as a fringe elite talent, would go on to become one of the most explosive and dynamic running backs in the history of the NFL. Barkley's college career at Penn State is the stuff of legends. From the moment he stepped onto the field, his combination of size, speed, power, and agility was undeniable. In just 3 seasons with the Nittany Lions, Barkley accumulated nearly 5,000 total yards from scrimmage and scored 51 touchdowns, quickly establishing himself as one of college football's premier players. His remarkable ability to break tackles, accelerate through holes, and make defenders miss was on full display week after week, and he became a household name for his electrifying plays. By the time Barkley declared for the NFL draft, there was no question about his talent. The New York Giants made him the 2nd overall pick in the 2018 draft, making Barkley one of the most highly anticipated rookies in recent memory. He wasted no time living up to the hype. In his rookie season, Barkley ran for over 1,300 yards, caught 91 passes for 721 yards, and scored 15 total touchdowns, earning Offensive Rookie of the Year honors. Despite a few setbacks, including a torn ACL in 2020 and ankle injuries in subsequent years, Barkley's talent has remained undeniable. His combination of skills continues to make him one of the NFL's elite running backs, and he's become the centerpiece of the Giants' offense. Now that we've set the stage with Saquon Barkley, let's take a look at the players who were ranked ahead of him. What became of them? Let's start with number 23. First, we dive into Rodney Anderson, a player whose potential was undeniable. Rodney Anderson is a highly talented and powerful running back from Katy, Texas, and was considered one of the top recruits in the 2015 class. His combination of size, speed, and physicality made him an ideal fit for the University of Oklahoma, where he committed with the hope of becoming the next great Sooners running back. Anderson had all the tools to succeed. His vision, balance, and burst were exceptional, and he had the potential to make an immediate impact at the next level. However, Anderson's college career was marred by an unfortunate string of injuries. After struggling with injuries during his first 2 seasons, it wasn't until 2017 that he began to showcase his immense talent. That year, Anderson rushed for over 1,100 yards and scored 18 total touchdowns, helping lead the Sooners to a successful season and gaining attention as one of the nation's most exciting running backs. His performance in 2017 generated high expectations for his future, and many believed he was poised for a breakout year in 2018. Unfortunately, just when it seemed like Anderson's career was on the upswing, disaster struck again. In the second game of the 2018 season, Anderson suffered a season-ending knee injury that dashed his hopes of finishing his college career on a high note. This injury was yet another devastating setback for a player who had already endured several injury-related obstacles in his college years. Despite his injury history, Anderson declared for the 2019 NFL Draft, where his talent was undeniable, and he was selected in the 6th round by the Cincinnati Bengals. However, his NFL career never fully took off. The same injury issues that had plagued his college years followed him to the professional level, and Anderson was waived by the Bengals after just 1 season. Next, we move to Tyreik Gray, a standout athlete from Houston, Texas, who was highly regarded as one of the top running backs in his class coming out of high school. Known for his impressive athleticism and playmaking ability, Gray was expected to be a force in college football. He committed to the University of Houston with aspirations of becoming the next big name to come out of the program, following in the footsteps of other successful Houston stars. However, despite his early promise, Gray's college career never quite took off. He struggled to find consistent playing time, often buried on the depth chart behind other talented running backs. While Gray certainly possessed the physical tools, speed, power, and agility, he was unable to make the most of his opportunities when he did see the field. His college career was characterized by a lack of significant impact, and he never managed to live up to the high expectations that surrounded his recruitment. Despite his high school accolades and the potentials he showed as a recruit, Gray's college experience was marked by inconsistency and limited opportunities. He couldn't quite find his rhythm in Houston's offense, and as a result, his college career ended without any major highlights or accomplishments. However, not every story is one of unmet expectations. Meet Jichael Hasty, a versatile running back from Longview, Texas, known for his quickness, agility, and ability to contribute both as a rusher and as a receiver out of the backfield. Hasty's high school career showcased his explosive playmaking ability, earning him recognition as one of the top running backs in the nation. Despite being ranked 21st among running backs in his class, he committed to Baylor University, where he would go on to spend 5 years developing his skills. Hasty's college career at Baylor was a mixed bag, as injuries limited his playing time early on. However, when he was on the field, Hasty consistently flashed his dynamic skill set, serving as a change of pace back and a receiving option for the Bears. He became known for his ability to make defenders miss in the open field, often showcasing impressive agility and burst that made him a dangerous weapon in the Baylor offense. Despite his undeniable potential, Hasty went undrafted in the 2020 NFL Draft, a setback that many thought would end his football dreams. However, Hasty wasn't ready to give up. He signed as an undrafted free agent with the San Francisco 49ers, who saw his potential as a depth player in their backfield. His perseverance paid off as he managed to carve out a role with the 49ers. Though his involvement has been limited, Hasty's agility and ability to contribute on special teams have allowed him to stick around in the NFL. Next, let's talk about Tristan Houston, a standout from Texas whose college career didn't go as planned. Tristan Houston was a standout running back from North Shore High School in Texas, known for his impressive speed and agility. His high school career was marked by explosive performances, and he quickly became one of the top-ranked running backs in the nation, which led to his commitment at the University of Texas. With expectations high, Houston was seen as a potential star for the Longhorns' backfield. However, Houston's time at Texas didn't go as planned. Despite his impressive pedigree and potential, he struggled to earn significant playing time in a crowded running back room. He found himself buried on the depth chart, unable to break through and make an impact on the field. As a result, after a couple of years with limited opportunities, Houston made the decision to transfer to Prairie View A&M, a smaller school in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, or SWAC, where he hoped to get more playing time and further develop his game. At Prairie View, Houston did indeed see more opportunities to play, but unfortunately, he was never able to put up the type of production that would generate significant interest from NFL scouts. Despite being in a less competitive environment, he was unable to dominate as expected, and his college career lacked the breakout performances needed to catch the attention of professional teams. Next, we move to Austin Joyner, a versatile athlete whose career was cut short by injuries. Austin Joyner, a versatile athlete hailing from Marysville, Washington, was known for his dynamic playmaking ability on both sides of the ball in high school. He excelled as a running back and defensive back, displaying remarkable agility, vision, and football IQ. His impressive two-way prowess earned him recognition as one of the top recruits in the country, and he ultimately chose to play for the University of Washington, where he made the transition to cornerback. At Washington, Joyner showcased his skills as a defensive back, bringing the same athleticism and instincts he had displayed in high school. He had the ability to cover receivers, make plays in space, and bring physicality to the defense. However, despite his potential and flashes of talent, Joyner's college career was overshadowed by injury concerns. Unfortunately, Joyner's promising career was tragically cut short due to concussion-related issues. Throughout his time at Washington, he sustained multiple concussions, a concern that became increasingly difficult to manage. In 2018, after careful consideration and consultations with medical professionals, Joyner made the difficult decision to medically retire from football. The risk to his long-term health was simply too great, and he chose to prioritize his future well-being over the game he loved. While his career was full of promise, it ended prematurely due to circumstances beyond his control. Up next is Bryce Love, a player who had one of the most explosive college seasons in NCAA history. Bryce Love's journey to stardom began at Wake Forest High School in North Carolina, where he was not only a standout football player, but also an accomplished track athlete. Love's blend of speed, agility, and vision made him a highly coveted recruit, and he ultimately chose to play college football at Stanford, following in the footsteps of legendary running backs like Christian McCaffrey. In his junior year at Stanford, Love burst onto the scene in a way few running backs ever do. He had one of the most explosive seasons in NCAA history, rushing for over 2,100 yards and finishing as the runner-up for the prestigious Heisman Trophy. His combination of elite speed, elusive running style, and ability to break off huge runs made him a nightmare for defenses. Love seemed destined for NFL stardom, with scouts and analysts projecting him as one of the top running back prospects in his class. However, just as Love's career appeared to be at its peak, injuries began to plague him. The first major sign of trouble came during his senior season, when he battled through various injuries. In the final game of his collegiate career, Love suffered a torn ACL, which would ultimately derail his NFL aspirations. Despite being drafted in the 4th round of the 2019 NFL Draft by the Washington football team, now Commanders, Love's professional career never materialized. His ongoing complications from the knee injury prevented him from ever stepping onto the field in an NFL game. After a series of setbacks and failed attempts to return to full health, Love's time in the NFL came to an end before it even truly began. Let's turn to Eric Swinny, a player whose college career was defined by resilience. Eric Swinny, a highly anticipated running back from Sandy Creek High School in Georgia, entered college football with high expectations after committing to Ole Miss. Known for his compact frame and powerful running style, Swinny was projected to bring a level of toughness and grit to the Rebels' backfield. His physicality and ability to break tackles made him an exciting prospect, and many believed he would make an immediate impact as one of the standout backs in the SEC. However, Swinny's promising college career never fully materialized due to a string of unfortunate injuries. His journey began on a rough note when he suffered a torn ACL during his very first collegiate game. This devastating injury forced him to miss his entire freshman season, and it set the tone for the challenges he would face throughout his time at Ole Miss. While he showed glimpses of his talent in the following seasons, injuries continued to derail his progress, preventing himself from ever fully establishing himself as the feature back the team had hoped for. Despite these setbacks, Swinny did manage to showcase his potential in brief spurts when he was healthy. He demonstrated solid vision, the ability to gain tough yards after contact, and pass-catching skills that could have made him a versatile weapon in the backfield. However, the consistency necessary to elevate his game was always out of reach due to the repeated injuries that kept him sidelined for significant portions of his career. By the time his college career ended, Swinny had not lived up to the sky-high expectations that accompanied him into college football. While he showed flashes of brilliance when healthy, his inability to stay on the field ultimately limited his potential and prevented him from becoming a household name. Despite his setbacks, Eric Swinny's story serves as a reminder of how injuries can drastically alter the course of a promising career. Next is Nyheim Hines, one of the few success stories from this recruiting class. Nyheim Hines, a dynamic and versatile player from Garner, North Carolina, quickly made a name for himself as one of the most electrifying athletes in the 2015 recruiting class. Known for his blazing speed, Hines was a true dual-threat weapon at NC State, where he split his time between running back and wide receiver. This versatility allowed him to contribute in a variety of ways, both on offense and special teams. Whether he was catching passes out of the backfield, running the ball, or returning kicks, Hines demonstrated an ability to make explosive plays every time he touched the ball. His quickness and vision were standout traits, and he quickly became one of the most dangerous all-purpose players in college football. After a standout junior season in which he rushed for over 1,100 yards and further showcased his talent as a return specialist, Hines decided to forego his senior year and declare for the 2018 NFL Draft. His strong performance at NC State, combined with his versatility, made him a valuable asset for any team in need of a dynamic playmaker. The Indianapolis Colts took advantage of this skill set by selecting Hines in the 4th round of the 2018 draft. Since entering the NFL, Hines has proven to be one of the few players from the 2015 running back class to live up to his high school ranking. His ability to contribute both as a running back and as a receiver out of the backfield has made him a key piece of the Colts offense. Additionally, his exceptional skills as a return specialist have kept him on the field in multiple roles. Over the years, Hines has provided consistent production, using his speed and agility to change games with big plays. He's been one of the most reliable dual-threat backs in the league, consistently contributing both in the ground game and through the air. While he may not be the every back down like some other names on this list, Hines has cemented himself as an important asset for the Colts. He remains a valuable contributor, showcasing how an all-purpose skill set can help a player carve out a long and successful career in the NFL. As one of the few success stories from this group, Nyheim Hines continues to prove that his ranking back in 2015 was well-deserved. Moving on, we have Tyson Williams, a player whose perseverance earned him a shot in the NFL. Tyson Williams, a versatile running back originally from Sumter, South Carolina, had a college career full of ups and downs. He began his journey at North Carolina, but after struggling to secure a significant role with the Tar Heels, he transferred to South Carolina. Despite his potential, Williams found limited success in his first stint with the Gamecocks, prompting yet another transfer, this time to Brigham Young University, BYU. At BYU, Williams finally began to find some consistency, although injuries continued to be a factor that limited his full potential. Even though his college career was characterized by frequent changes and setbacks, there were still moments of brilliance where Williams displayed his athleticism and ability to break tackles, especially when healthy. However, his overall college production never quite matched the expectations set for him as a top-tier recruit. Williams' professional career began with an unexpected twist. In 2021, after a series of injuries to the Baltimore Ravens running backs, Williams received a chance to make an impact in the NFL. The Ravens, notorious for their run-heavy offense, needed a reliable back to step in, and Williams found himself thrust into the spotlight. He started the season strong, showcasing his blend of size, power, and speed. At times, it seemed like Williams might establish himself as a key contributor to the Ravens' offense. However, as the season wore on, Williams found himself falling out of the rotation. Despite his early success, his inability to maintain consistency and a deeper running back core pushed him further down the depth chart. While his time as a starter was brief, Williams' 2021 season wasn't without merits. He proved he could handle the NFL's physicality and demonstrated enough skill to remain on teams' radars as a potential depth option. Tyson Williams' NFL career is still in its early stages, and while he hasn't yet solidified himself as a regular contributor, he's shown enough to keep himself in the mix. Next, let's talk about Mike Weber, who showed early promise at Ohio State. Mike Weber, a highly touted running back from Detroit, Michigan, entered Ohio State with a lot of eyes on him. As a recruit, he was considered one of the top running backs in his class, but his arrival in Columbus came with the daunting task of following in the footsteps of future NFL star Ezekiel Elliott. However, Weber didn't shy away from the challenge. In his redshirt freshman season, Weber proved his worth by rushing for over 1,000 yards and earning Big Ten Freshman of the Year honors. His ability to break tackles, make defenders miss, and find the end zone made him an instant contributor for the Buckeyes. Ohio State seemed to have found its next star running back, and Weber was on the fast track to a successful college career. However, as time went on, Weber's production began to decline. Enter J.K. Dobbins, a highly touted recruit who emerged as the new lead back in Ohio State's offense. Dobbins' talent and consistent performance meant Weber's role became more limited. While Weber still contributed to the Buckeyes' offense, he no longer had the same starring role he enjoyed in his freshman year. Weber declared for the 2019 NFL Draft, but the questions surrounding his future in the pros lingered. He was selected in the 7th round by the Dallas Cowboys, a team with a solid running back core but in need of depth. Despite his potential, Weber struggled to carve out a significant role in the NFL. He spent much of his early years on practice squads, never managing to stick with a team for any length of time. While Weber certainly showed flashes of his talent during his college career, his time in the NFL was less memorable. Injuries and competition for playing time kept him from finding consistent success, and eventually, he stepped away from the game. Next, we move to Jordan Scarlett, a player whose off-field issues overshadowed his potential. Jordan Scarlett was a promising running back from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, whose talent was evident from the start. As a highly ranked recruit, Scarlett entered the University of Florida with high expectations. With a combination of speed, vision, and power, he quickly became a fixture in the Gators' backfield. His freshman year was solid, but it was his sophomore campaign in 2016 that truly showcased his potential as he rushed for nearly 900 yards and averaged 5.3 yards per carry. However, Scarlett's career took an unexpected and unfortunate turn during the 2017 season. He was one of several players involved in a credit card fraud scheme, leading to a suspension that cost him an entire year of college football. It was a major setback for Scarlett, one that raised questions about his future in the game. Despite the controversy, he worked hard to get back on track and re-established himself during the 2018 season. When he returned in 2018, Scarlett showed flashes of the talent that had once made him a highly regarded recruit. He finished his college career with over 2,400 rushing yards and 19 touchdowns, enough to garner the attention of NFL scouts. That year, he was selected by the Carolina Panthers in the 5th round of the 2019 NFL Draft, signaling a potential new chapter in his career. Unfortunately, Scarlett's transition to the NFL did not unfold as hoped. Despite his potential, he struggled to find consistent playing time with the Panthers. Most of his time in the league has been spent on practice squads, as he has yet to establish himself as a key contributor in the NFL. Up next is Nick Brossette. Nick Brossette was a standout prospect from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, whose decision to play for LSU carried the weight of high expectations. As a 4-star recruit coming out of University High School, Brossette was ranked among the best running backs in the 2015 class and was expected to carry on the rich tradition of elite LSU backs. However, Brossette's early years at LSU were marked by patience and perseverance. Playing behind future NFL stars Leonard Fournette and Derrius Guice, Brossette saw limited opportunities to showcase his talents. Between 2015 and 2017, he struggled to find consistent playing time, accumulating fewer than 500 total rushing yards over his first 3 seasons. Despite the lack of production, he remained committed to the team and waited for his chance to shine. That opportunity finally came during his senior season in 2018. With Fournette and Guice both in the NFL, Brossette stepped into the role of LSU's feature back. He did not disappoint, rushing for 1,039 yards and 14 touchdowns while serving as a dependable presence in the Tigers' offense. His breakout season helped LSU secure a 10-win campaign and re-establish their place among college football's elite programs. Despite his impressive senior year performance, Brossette went undrafted in the 2019 NFL Draft. He signed as a free agent with the New England Patriots, but his time in the NFL was short-lived. After being waived by the Patriots, he had a brief stint with the Detroit Lions, but never saw regular season action. Following his departure from professional football, Brossette transitioned to life outside the game, stepping away from the sport that had defined much of his early life. Mark Walton's story is one of unfulfilled potential and off-field troubles. A star at the University of Miami, Walton showed promise but was derailed by injuries and multiple legal issues. Despite being drafted by the Cincinnati Bengals, his professional career was cut short due to these setbacks. Mark Walton, a Miami native, was one of the most electrifying recruits in the 2015 class. Coming out of Booker T. Washington High School, he was a 4-star prospect known for his combination of speed, agility, and pass-catching ability. Staying close to home, Walton committed to the University of Miami, where he hoped to become the next in a long line of legendary Hurricanes running backs. As a freshman, Walton flashed his potential, contributing both as a runner and receiver out of the backfield. However, it was during his sophomore season in 2016 that he truly broke out. Walton rushed for 1,117 yards and 14 touchdowns while also proving to be a reliable target in the passing game. His all-purpose skill set made him a key weapon for Miami's offense, and his performance helped lead the Hurricanes back to national prominence. Hopes were high for Walton entering his junior year, but injuries quickly derailed his season. After just 4 games, he suffered an ankle injury that required surgery, cutting short what was expected to be another stellar campaign. Despite the setback, Walton opted to declare for the 2018 NFL Draft, betting on his talent and previous production to secure a spot in the league. The Cincinnati Bengals selected Walton in the 4th round, giving him an opportunity to prove himself at the professional level. However, his NFL career never gained traction. In his rookie season, he struggled to find playing time and managed only 34 rushing yards on 14 carries. Off-the-field issues soon overshadowed his football career. Walton faced multiple legal troubles, including arrests for battery, marijuana possession, and reckless driving. These incidents led to his release from the Bengals in 2019. Later, he signed with the Miami Dolphins, hoping for a fresh start, but further legal problems led to his dismissal from the team as well. And we have Dararius Flowers, the guy whose football dreams were derailed before they could begin. Dararius Flowers, a highly touted running back from Pritchard, Alabama, was once viewed as one of the top prospects in the 2015 recruiting class. With a combination of size, speed, and athleticism, Flowers had the tools to be a difference maker at the collegiate level. A product of Vigor High School, his performances on the field showcased his ability to dominate games, drawing the attention of several major programs across the nation. Flowers ultimately committed to Alabama, a powerhouse program that has long been a pipeline to the NFL for running backs. Joining a program like Nick Saban's Crimson Tide appeared to be the perfect stepping stone for Flowers to fulfill his immense potential. However, his college football dreams faced an early obstacle. Academic eligibility issues prevented him from enrolling at Alabama and derailed his opportunity to play for one of the most prestigious programs in the country. After losing his spot at Alabama, Flowers opted to take the junior college route, hoping to work his way back into a Division I program. He enrolled at Hutchinson Community College, a well-known JUCO destination for players looking to revive their football careers. Despite this second chance, Flowers struggled to regain his footing. A lack of significant production, combined with the competitive nature of JUCO football, made it difficult for him to attract the attention of top programs. Flowers' football career ultimately fizzled out before it ever truly began. The combination of academic setbacks and an inability to make an impact at the junior college level left him as one of the more puzzling what-could-have-been stories from the 2015 recruiting class. Next up, Chris Warren III, a physically imposing back who seemed destined for greatness at Texas. But after dealing with injuries and even switching positions, Warren's NFL dreams never materialized, and his journey ended without the breakout many expected. Chris entered the spotlight as a standout recruit from Rockwall High School in Texas. With his impressive 6'2", 240-pound frame and a blend of power and deceptive speed, Warren was seen as a prototypical bruising back who could dominate at the collegiate level. As the son of an NFL standout, expectations were high for Warren to follow in his father's footsteps and carve out his own legacy. Warren committed to the University of Texas, joining one of college football's most storied programs. He made an immediate impact during his freshman year in 2015, rushing for 470 yards and 4 touchdowns, highlighted by a 276-yard performance against Texas Tech. His ability to bulldoze defenders and break away for big gains gave fans a glimpse of his immense potential. However, Warren's college career was marked by inconsistency and bad luck. Injuries plagued him during his sophomore season, sidelining him for the majority of the year. When he returned in his junior season, Warren faced a new challenge: a position change. The coaching staff converted him to tight end, limiting his opportunities as a ball carrier. While he showed versatility and a willingness to adapt, the move ultimately stifled his production and visibility. He finished his college career with just over 1,100 rushing yards and 13 touchdowns, numbers that fell short of the expectations placed on him when he entered the program. Warren went undrafted but signed with the Oakland Raiders as a free agent. In the preseason, he displayed flashes of his former self, leading all NFL rookies in rushing yards and earning praise for his physical running style. Unfortunately, Warren's momentum was short-lived. A knee injury landed him on injured reserve, and he was eventually waived before ever appearing in a regular season game. Since his brief stint with the Raiders, Warren has not returned to the NFL, and his football career has seemingly come to an end. Derrius Guice was a name everyone was excited about after his performance at LSU. He looked like he was going to be the next big thing in the NFL, but a string of injuries and off-field troubles left Guice's career unfulfilled. A sad ending to what could have been a star-studded run. Derrius Guice, a Baton Rouge native, was the pride of LSU's 2015 recruiting class and widely regarded as one of the most explosive running back prospects in the country. His combination of speed, power, and relentless drive made him a nightmare for defenders. At 5'11" and 225 pounds, Guice possessed the rare ability to run through tackles and leave defenders in the dust, earning comparisons to former LSU star Leonard Fournette. Staying close to home, Guice committed to LSU and quickly proved he was more than just Fournette's backup. When Fournette dealt with injuries during the 2016 season, Guice stepped into the spotlight and delivered in a big way. He rushed for over 1,300 yards that year, including an unforgettable performance against Texas A&M, where he broke LSU's single-game rushing record with 285 yards. Once Fournette declared for the NFL draft, Guice seamlessly transitioned into the role of LSU's feature back, surpassing 1,200 rushing yards again in 2017. His hard-nosed running style and big play ability made him a household name in the SEC, and he solidified himself as one of the nation's best. Heading into the 2018 NFL Draft, Guice was projected as a first-round pick, with scouts raving about his talent and potential. However, a few concerns about his durability and maturity caused him to slip to the second round, where he was selected 59th overall by the Washington Commanders, then Redskins. Washington fans were thrilled, believing they had found their next franchise running back. Unfortunately, Guice's professional career never lived up to its promise. In his very first preseason game, he tore his ACL, forcing him to miss his entire rookie year. The injury was the start of a string of health issues, as Guice dealt with knee problems and multiple setbacks that kept him off the field for much of the 2019 season as well. Even when he did play, flashes of his LSU brilliance were overshadowed by his inability to stay healthy. Guice's career took an even darker turn in 2020 when he was released by Washington following multiple allegations of domestic violence and legal troubles. The once promising star who seemed destined for greatness became a cautionary tale of unfulfilled potential. As of now, Guice remains out of professional football, a sobering reminder of how quickly circumstances can change, even for the most talented athletes. Then there's LJ Scott, who had a stellar freshman year at Michigan State, but struggled with injuries and inconsistency over the years. Despite his solid college career, Scott never made a significant impact in the NFL. Scott was a highly touted running back from Hubbard High School in Ohio, known for his bruising running style and ability to wear down defenses. Standing at 6 feet and weighing around 230 pounds, Scott combined power and finesse, making him one of the most coveted running backs in the 2015 recruiting class. His decision to commit to Michigan State was a major victory for the Spartans, as he was expected to anchor their rushing attack for years to come. Scott wasted no time making an impact. As a true freshman, he rushed for over 700 yards and led Michigan State to a Big Ten championship. His most memorable moment came in the title game against Iowa, where he capped off a 22-play drive with a heroic 1-yard touchdown run, securing the Spartans' win and a spot in the college football playoff. It was the kind of performance that solidified his reputation as a clutch player capable of delivering in high-stakes situations. However, Scott's career at Michigan State was a roller coaster. While he displayed flashes of brilliance, injuries and inconsistency began to take their toll. He struggled to stay on the field for extended periods, and his production declined in his junior and senior seasons. Despite these challenges, Scott still managed to finish his college career with over 2,800 rushing yards and 25 touchdowns, cementing his place as one of the program's better running backs in recent memory. Despite his collegiate success, Scott's NFL aspirations never materialized as he had hoped. He went undrafted in the 2019 NFL Draft, a reflection of concerns about his durability and declining production. Shortly after the draft, he signed with the Baltimore Ravens as an undrafted free agent. However, Scott shocked many by deciding to retire from football shortly after joining the team, citing personal reasons. His abrupt decision left fans and analysts wondering what could have been if he had pursued his professional career. Next is Johnny Frasier, a highly touted running back from Princeton, North Carolina. Ranked as the 6th best running back in the 2015 class, Frasier dominated on the field with his rare combination of speed, power, and vision. He racked up an eye-popping 7,000 rushing yards and 100 touchdowns during his high school career, leaving many to believe he was destined for greatness at the college level. Frasier's commitment to NC State was a major win for the program, and fans eagerly awaited his arrival, expecting him to become their next big offensive weapon. However, Frasier's college career never lived up to the hype. Almost immediately, he faced challenges that would derail his journey. Injuries plagued him early on, limiting his ability to compete and showcase the skills that made him such a coveted recruit. Additionally, Frasier struggled to find his footing in NC State's backfield, which was already crowded with talented players. The lack of consistent playing time and his inability to stay healthy created a vicious cycle that made it nearly impossible for him to gain momentum. As time went on, it became clear that Frasier was not on the path to becoming the star many had envisioned. He eventually decided to step away from football altogether, a shocking development for a player that had once been considered one of the top running back prospects in the nation. The abrupt end to his football career left fans and analysts alike wondering what might have been if Frasier had been able to stay healthy and adjust to the college game. And we have Dexter Williams, who finally broke out as a senior at Notre Dame. Williams, a talented running back from Winter Garden, Florida, entered the 2015 class as one of the most dynamic players in his position. Ranked 5th among running backs, Williams was praised for his versatility, quick acceleration, and ability to make defenders look silly in the open field. His combination of vision and elusiveness made him a coveted prospect, and he ultimately committed to play for Notre Dame. At Notre Dame, Williams had to be patient. The depth chart was stacked, and he spent much of his first 3 seasons as a backup, contributing primarily in limited opportunities. However, he finally got his chance to shine as a senior in 2018, and he didn't disappoint. Williams exploded for over 1,100 rushing yards and 12 touchdowns that season, averaging 6.3 yards per carry. His breakout year helped propel the Fighting Irish to an undefeated regular season and a spot in the college football playoff. His speed and ability to break big plays made him a standout, and he left Notre Dame with his stock on the rise. The Green Bay Packers selected Williams in the 6th round of the 2019 NFL Draft. While the draft position was a bit lower than he might have hoped, it offered him an opportunity to prove himself at the next level. Unfortunately, Williams found it difficult to carve out a consistent role in the Packers' crowded backfield. He spent much of his time bouncing between the practice squad and the active roster, appearing in only a handful of games over multiple seasons. Despite his struggles to stick in the NFL, Williams' talent has never been in question. His brief stints on the field showcased flashes of the player who lit up defenses in college, but consistencies and opportunity have eluded him. As of now, Williams remains on the fringes of the professional game, leaving fans to wonder whether he'll ever get the chance to reignite his career. Up next is Taj Griffin, the electrifying speedster whose career was full of promise but ultimately hampered by injuries. Griffin was the definition of a game-changer during his high school years in Powder Springs, Georgia. Known for his blistering speed and unmatched agility, Griffin had the kind of explosiveness that could take over a game in an instant. As a 5-star recruit, he was ranked 4th among running backs in the 2015 class, and his commitment to Oregon felt like a perfect match. The Ducks' fast-paced, high-octane offense seemed tailor-made for Griffin's skill set, and expectations were sky-high. Griffin flashed his potential during his freshman year at Oregon, rushing for 570 yards and 3 touchdowns while averaging an impressive 7.4 yards per carry. He looked like the next great back in a long line of Oregon playmakers. Unfortunately, injuries quickly became a recurring theme in his career. A torn ACL in 2015 was the first of several setbacks that derailed his trajectory. Though Griffin worked hard to return to the field, he never quite recaptured his early explosiveness. His collegiate production waned in subsequent seasons, and by the time he wrapped up his career at Oregon, his role in the offense had diminished significantly. Without the opportunity to shine consistently, Griffin went undrafted and failed to break into the professional ranks. Let's turn to Jac Patrick, a powerhouse runner who found his way through alternative football leagues while chasing his NFL dreams. Jac Patrick was a dominant force at Timber Creek High School in Orlando, Florida. Standing at 6'2" and 230 pounds, Patrick was a bruising runner who could bulldoze defenders and pick up extra yards after contact. His high school stats were eye-popping, with over 7,900 rushing yards and 103 touchdowns. He committed to Florida State, where he played behind star running back Dalvin Cook early in his career. Once Cook left for the NFL, Patrick had the opportunity to take on a larger role. While he had some productive moments, including a 748-yard season in 2017, he never fully lived up to his high school hype. Patrick went undrafted in 2019, but managed to stay in the football world. He spent time in alternative leagues like the XFL and has been on NFL practice squads, though he's yet to secure a long-term spot on an NFL roster. Now we arrive at Damien Harris, a back whose steady rise from Alabama standout to reliable NFL contributor highlights the payoff of perseverance. Harris was known for his blend of speed, strength, and vision, making him one of the most sought-after recruits in the nation. He committed to Alabama, a program renowned for producing elite running backs. Harris had a stellar college career with the Crimson Tide. Over 4 seasons, he rushed for over 3,000 yards and 23 touchdowns, including back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons in 2016 and 2017. His ability to perform in big games was crucial to Alabama's success during his time there. In 2019, Harris was drafted by the New England Patriots in the 3rd round. Injuries slowed him early in his career, but he broke out in 2021, rushing for 929 yards and 15 touchdowns. While not yet a superstar, Harris has proven to be a reliable and productive back in the NFL. At the top of the 2015 running back rankings was Ronald Jones II, a dynamic playmaker out of McKinney North High School in Texas. Jones was a human highlight reel, racking up over 4,000 rushing yards and 62 touchdowns in his final 2 high school seasons. He was celebrated for his breakaway speed and elusiveness, earning offers from top programs across the country. Jones ultimately chose USC, where he lived up to the hype. Over 3 seasons, he amassed over 3,600 rushing yards and 39 touchdowns, cementing himself as one of the best backs in college football. His junior season in particular was outstanding, as he rushed for 1,550 yards and 19 touchdowns. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers selected Jones in the 2nd round of the 2018 NFL Draft. His NFL career has been somewhat inconsistent, with flashes of brilliance mixed with struggles for playing time. His best season came in 2020 when he rushed for 978 yards and helped the Buccaneers win Super Bowl 55. While he hasn't reached elite status in the NFL, Jones remains a capable contributor.